Spread the word of man. Spread the word of Islam. Oh, fortunate one, paradise must be won. Paradise must be won each day and each night, through darkness and through light. Cry it out to the world. Spread the word. Spread the word of Islam.
Farqa. To divide or separate the Muslims is haram. And it's a serious offense in front of Allah. Whoever divides the Muslims up cannot have much to hope for on the Day of Judgment with Allah. But it's your obligation in front of Allah to make sure that these youth, that they know the difference of what's real Islam and what's not. Should we call everybody to this one group? Huh? I got a better idea. Let's just call everybody out of their group. Just call them out of their group, and let's just be Muslims. How about that idea? I don't need a label. The United States government gave me my label a long time ago. It's called Muslim. That's good enough for me. What do you think? Let's do call, but let's call them out, not to another group. Let's don't start another one and say, okay, we're the saved group Muslims. Saved group Muslims. We're the saved group. Come on, everybody get into it. That's not going to work. What we have to do is call everybody back to the original group, which is just Muslim. Quran, Sunnah. Quran, Sunnah. Reliable sources. And of course, we need scholars. Never have I said we don't need scholars. You heard me just mention that in the first answer. But at the same time, even if the scholar happens to be in a group, I don't need to join his group. I've sat with Sufi scholars, Shiite scholars. I sat with those of the Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the so-called Sunnis and Sufis of all tariqas even. And I took benefit where I could take benefit. But anytime they said something that didn't line up with what was the main straight line that the Prophet ﷺ talked about, then that's the part I said, okay guys, well that's where we have to go, you know. I can't do that. But the part where they call to La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, establish the salat, pay the zakat, fast Ramadan and do Hajj, well, that's Islam. No problem. But I'm just not going to do the other things that we can't find evidence for. But if you have an evidence, first thing I learned before I even accepted Islam is Islam has an evidence for everything it teaches. And if you don't find the evidence in the Quran or the Sunnah, or the teachings of the earliest companions, you're not obliged to go for it unless somebody can come up with it. Does it make sense? Make sense? Okay, cool.
We have a question here at the front. Young man, please state your name and occupation.
Salam alaikum. I came to not to ask a question. I came to give a support to the father Yusuf and witness of Allah in 5 words. One, the Allah who taught me is Allah means the universal manifestation of the universe. So nobody can ask that He is only for me. The beauty, the holiness, the light, sound of the whole universe for all people. So you can't proclaim that this is only for us. So those who know the light and sound, the universal truth, they are all merging with the Allah. And the second one, He personally talked with me and He has given me a gift of the golden gift. And one time He invited me when I was staying in my house in Ooty, there was a beautiful mosque in top of the mountain. I used to go to my roof and I used to see that. But many time it happened. But after some time, one time there was a small voice comes from there. You came to me, you came to me, you came to me. Then one day I went there. Then I took the holy book in my head and bowed in front of him. And he has given the special message that I have shared with many of the Hindu and Christian people and even...
Excuse me. I have to, in all honesty and fairness to the rest of the audience, we have people...
All these witness supporting his... Actually, he told that the Allah is meant for not only for the Muslim, those who are the scholar, those who know him personally, they can give the testimony. For his speech, I am giving this witness. And third one, the Muslim fearness, the war, the terrorism is only from your groups, the 73 groups within the Muslim people and the Christian people. And for that you want to come out, you have to fight only by the wisdom, not by the weapon. Wisdom means knowing the light and the sound of the universe, the Father, who given the secret inside the holiness of the holiness book. And fifth one is, once you know the universal truth, like all the division and the barrier in between all religious conflict is like in the science, physics, chemistry, biology, zoology, like that. But who knowing the truth of the real science, they will merge with the universal science. That universal science only has given us a secret inside the Quran. Those who know the truth from the whatever the religious background, they can merge with the Allah. The Allah means the universal manifestation of the... This is my support and recommendation and witness to all your Muslim people. Let us avoid the weapons. Let us use the wisdom. Then we can...
I think I remember in the beginning that he said, don't make any speeches and let's go with the question. But we do thank you very much for your opinion. And as far as some of the statements you made, is not what I said. I never said that Allah is the manifestation in the creation. As a matter of fact, that's something we don't believe. We don't believe that Allah is in the creation. We don't believe the creation is Allah. We don't believe Allah needs the creation. And in fact, all of the creation of Allah together, eventually Allah is going to destroy it. We already know that. All of the dunya, all of the creation together in the sight of Allah is not equal even to what we would have an estimation of a dead goat. And that was said by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we're not in love with this creation, we're not in love with the universe, but we are in love with Allah and we very much want to obey Him. And He's ordered us to take care of it and respect it, but at the same time don't fall in love with it. Okay? And by the way, we don't consider Allah as a father, and we don't have that father image thing. One final thing is, I notice a lot of you guys, you bow to each other. I know, kind of like the Japanese, you know, they like to bow all the time and do that. It's actually better for us as Muslims if we only bow to Allah. This is better. Just save that for Allah. You might think you're giving respect to me by going like this or something like that, but you know what? I don't need it. First of all, I'm not worthy of it. And the second thing is, Allah doesn't like it, so save the bowing for Allah, and that'll be better for you. And by the way, if you really want to get more guidance, you can go inside your own heart and ask Allah to guide you. Maybe, who knows, next time we come here, you'll be a Muslim too, inshallah.
We'd like to take the next question from our sisters in the rear. If you would please state your name and your occupation.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. My name is Amreen and I'm a student. My question is, in many schools and colleges, in application forms, there is a separate column for which religion the person belongs to. Not only their religion, they also request the caste or creed to which the person belongs to. Caste or creed. So, brother, can you just reason this out?
If I understand your question correctly, you're asking how you should respond to an application which asks that you list your religion and also your caste or creed as a Muslim. Is that correct?
Yes, brother.
Well, I think that's something that you should ask somebody here locally to give you better insight on it, because In my country, that's not possible. You can't ask somebody their religion. It's forbidden, actually, to ask that question. However, when I go to other countries, they do ask you, what's your religion? And it happened to me just recently. We were in Hajj this past year. And when we were coming back from the masjid by our suburban, there was a man laying down behind it. He had a gash in his head, and he was knocked unconscious against the wall. And I went over to him, and I said, this man's got something wrong. They said, oh, he's just asleep. I said, no, you see that blood? They said, oh, he's okay. I said, no, it doesn't look right. Turns out he'd been hit by a car with the mirror of the car had hit him. And he had lost consciousness. And I was trying to get the ambulance over there. In the meantime, some brothers from Jordan who were there on business, not for Hajj, for business, and they were there, and they saw, and they come over, they're trying to help, and they were talking to me in English. And they were looking at, staring at me, and they were saying, well, where are you from? I said, I'm from America. America? I said, yeah. Texas. Texas. Bush? I said, yeah, Texas. Now remember, I just left. We're in Hajj. I just left from the Haram. I'm wearing what? 2 towels. I'm in Mecca. Nobody can get in there except what? And he said, Muslim? Muslim? Subhanallah. I looked at him. I said, Saidi? Because in Arabic, this means, are you one of the people from Upper Egypt that doesn't catch on? What am I doing standing here with 2 towels? Why am I here in Mecca if I'm not a Muslim doing Hajj? But the funniest one, though, was when I went back to my own country one time. I was coming back from Mexico. And when I entered, they grabbed me right away from the airplane. They said, we want to talk to you. Surprise. And while they were talking, one of the things came up is, well, we see you're a Muslim. Because, see, they can't ask you what religion are you. They said, we see you're a Muslim. Which kind are you? I said, what do you mean? They said, well, what kind of Muslim are you? I said, old. They said, no, 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 we mean like, and they really were getting hung up. Are you this kind? Are you a Sufi, Shiite, Ahmadiyyan, Qadiani? Down the big list of all the things, And I know I'm going to be there all day if I don't come up with something. I said, I'm a Christian Muslim. They said, what? And he's looking. Krishna? I said, no. Christian Muslim. I was a Christian. I became a Muslim. I said, okay, you can go. If they ask if you're a Muslim, say yes. If they want to know which caste, I think that's probably for the Hindus. I think so. But I don't know. Ask somebody locally, they'll help you with that.
Next question we'll take from the rear. Our brother, please state your name and occupation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Dear Sheikh, my name is Umar Sultan. I am from Kashmir. And my question to you is, what should be my approach to those persons who are illiterate, who doesn't know writing and reading? Especially they follow the religion, what they hear from their sheikhs. If their sheikh is a deviant one, they follow them. And if their sheikh is a person who follows the Quran and the Sunnah, they follow him. What should be our approach?
First of all, I'm happy to find anybody that wants to lead Salat these days. And if he's memorized the Quran and he's leading you in Salah, this is good. But just because somebody leads the Salat doesn't mean he's your alim. And just because he sits and reads to you out of a book after Salat doesn't make him an alim. And regardless of how many classes he teaches in Islam, even Sheikh Bilal Phillips, who has a doctorate in Islam, and he's written many books, and for all intents and purposes, it would be easy to say he's one of the best scholars in the English language for Islam. I would not have any problem to say that. At the same time, and me not even qualified to be a student from him. In fact, I just recently enrolled in his new program. I'll do a commercial for him right now, by the way. Go to my website, islamnewsroom.com and click on the link, and you can get in a free program for learning Islam from Dr. Bilal Phillips. And it will take you to his website. I could have given you his website, but I'm trying to get extra clicks for mine, okay? Anyway, what I'm telling you is, as much as he has knowledge, still when he says something, I'll go, what's that? Where'd you get that from? And we do. We sit down and discuss. Dr. Jafar Sheikh Idris, one of the most respected of all the scholars who speaks Arabic and English, really. He's a wonderful teacher, but still, and he's a dear friend. I go to his house and we sit together. If he says something I don't understand, or where did you get this from? And he'll say, from this. It was in such and such a book. I go, yeah, but I thought that book was so-and-so. Yes, but, and then they'll explain. If a scholar can't do that, he's not really a scholar. But if he tells you something that's right, follow that. But we don't do blind following. That's where you get in big trouble. If somebody says, we're Hanafi, just do it, that's not Islam. What's Islam is to say, we're Muslims, and here's the proof. We're Muslims, here's the proof. If they can do that, follow it. But if they don't have a proof, stay away from it. Now, there's questionable areas also that come up, and you're not sure about. These, be sure, especially like if somebody said, well, in our tariqah, we do this and that. And they have something from Quran, but still go to another scholar who's not maybe from that particular mentality and compare it and find out. Because if it's good, do it. If it's not authentic, then avoid it. Make sense? We love everybody. I want everybody to go to Jannah. I hope every single one of us goes to Jannah. The worst thing it could happen is to imagine that somebody didn't get to go. Right? So, let's don't try to separate. Let's look for the things that'll help us be together. But I will call out of the groups to the main fold of Islam. Just be in the middle. And most of you are already there anyway. You are there in your own thinking. I know you are because I talk to you guys. And you say, I'm this, I'm that, but when it comes down to the main thing, you say, nah, not really. I'm just mainline Islam. And that's the best. It's a good question. Thank you, brother.
Okay, we'll take another question from the sisters in the rear.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sumaya. I'm a grad student doing my English literature. Basically, I have a lot of these relatives, elders, who try to impose weird cultural stuff upon me. And they're elders, so I have to respect them. But I want to kind of not do it, but I don't want to offend them. So how do I get out of the situation without making myself look ugly?
It's a good question. I think all of us have that to some extent, that we have relatives or elders, respected folks in the community, and they'll come up with something and you'll go, huh? Is that Islam? But then, especially those of you who are the youth and you've studied and you've gone to places, seen things online, maybe you've been to some classes somewhere and you come back, you're going, that's not Islam. You borrowed that from the Hindus. You got that from the Christians. This is Buddhism, And at the same time, though, if you damage their dignity, you're committing a sin in Islam. So you're right to respect them. Let's look to the Quran, though, to get the answer. Go to chapter 31, Surah Luqman. It's very clear. I think it's like verse 9, 11, somewhere in there. It tells you clearly what Luqman is saying. He's saying to his son, the first and foremost thing is always La ilaha illallah. That's number one. To obey Allah. To believe in Allah and obeying Him, obeying the messenger, that's Islam. But after that is the respect to the parents, and you obey them in everything except when they want you to do something that's not in Islam. So if they ask you to do something and you look at it and you say, well, is it in Islam? Well, it's not really against Islam. Try your best to do as much as you can do until it gets to where you're breaking something in Islam. At that stage, you can't. Can I give you one example? A sister came to me right here in this very venue where we are tonight, and she said to me, what do I do about my parents? They have ordered me not to wear the hijab. Muslims. I said, they're Muslim? She said, yes. But they ordered me, do not wear the hijab. This causes problems, blah, blah, blah. A job, a career, education, whatever, don't wear the hijab. Now I want to go back to what I said earlier tonight about hikmah, wisdom. What do you think I told her? Sister, you have to wear the hijab. Tell them, too bad for you, you're going to go to hell, and like that. No, I didn't do that. I said, tell them, okay, and don't wear it. She said, what? I said, yeah, don't wear it. You don't need to wear hijab. Women do not need to wear hijab as long as they stay home. Right? And then when your parents say, well, go to work. No, I can't. I have to obey you. Huh? Yeah, you said don't wear hijab, so I'm going to stay home. So I can obey you and Allah. Get a job. Can't do it. Get education. Can't do it. You want to put a hijab? No? Okay. Got to obey you because I love you, respect you, honor you. I'm going to obey you. Stay home. No, but we want you to go out. Can't do that. I can't do that. But I can obey you. I'll stay right here. How long before they're going to say, okay, put the hijab on and get out of here? Same thing. A woman ordered her husband to shave. A woman ordered her husband to shave. She said, I don't like a man have hair on his face. I said, you got to wonder about a woman who wants her husband to look like another woman. But here's what he can do. Here's what he can do. If somebody asks you, do the Muslim men have to grow the beard? What's the answer? What's the answer? How many say yes? How many say no? Actually, it's impossible. You cannot grow your beard. Who here thinks he can grow a beard? Stand up. Go ahead, stand up and grow it. We'll watch. No? Allah grows the beard, right? So tell her, from now on, I'm not going to grow my beard. I won't. Why? I couldn't do it anyway. Allah does it. But I'm not going to cut it off. Because the Prophet ordered us to leave it alone. He never ordered us to grow the beard. The hadith in Bukhari doesn't say grow the beard. It says leave it alone. Leave it. His beard, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was long, and so were the Sahabis' beards long. Not a 2-day growth, okay? Long beards. Make dua that I'll quit pulling mine out when I'm sitting on the telephone and at the computer. That's what happens to mine. But inshallah, you can work these things out, look and find out what is the real Islam, find out what's cultural and what's against Islam, and then use your wisdom to be able to come up with the answers. And if you have a difficulty, you can write to me at Yusuf@99islam.com. That's YUSUF at 99islam.com. And that's how we can take all the rest of the questions if you want to. We got time to do any more?
No, at this time, we're going to bring this portion of this program to a close, Sheikh. So at this time, we'd like to thank all of you. We thank our Sheikh Yusuf for being with us this evening. May Allah continue to bless all of you with a pure intention and give us all a good end. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Spread the word, oh man. Spread the word of Islam. Oh, fortunate one, paradise must be won. Paradise must be won each day and each night, through darkness and through light. Cry it out to the world.